Hey everyone, this is Second Sight Tarot, a branch of wellness. I'm here to do the monthly reading for the sign of Aries for the month of April 2021. I've already meditated on your cards, and please remember that this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone. Please take what does resonate and leave the rest. I'm going to be doing the element spread today, current situation, how you can move through it through intellect and communication, the emotions that you can connect through this, and the how to move to the outcome or the final outcome. So I'm going to use some Oracle cards and regular tarot. Let me start that over. I just wasn't feeling that one. Sorry. It's for Aries. Current situation, please. Change for the third position in a row. Same position, 3 signs. Everybody's kind of on the same path here. Emotions. Very similar cards. Outcome. Alrighty. At the bottom of the deck, pleasure. So I definitely feel like I think we're all in need of a little bit of fun and just feeling free. But this is kind of your energy right now about maybe this is what you're seeking, is to find more pleasure in life. The things that really get your heart and your chakras in line of things that you're passionate about, and how to actually express that passion or that pleasure. So let's see what else we got going on here. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to do some birdsong tarot. Temperance. And the final outcome. Okay, that's the one. Throwing themselves. Oh, wow, interesting. And at the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Wands, or the acorns in this deck. It's also about passion and creativity. So I definitely feel this is kind of where you are right now. Really looking to find what makes you very passionate and have some creativity to make yourself feel good. I think there's this energy that really wants to be focused somewhere. Just from the cards that were being dealt while I was shuffling, I made a note of them so I can read them off to you. But it's about finding your identity right now, things that are really passionate, things you want to bring out into the world, that you want to create, that been stagnant, or you have, you're just finally connecting with that energy. Interesting. And then power and perseverance, the 9 of wands, sorry. So I definitely feel for you that there's this powerful energy coming through that you really want to keep, really create that fire and like have momentum and perseverance with that energy. So it's really, really great. Stamina and determination. I definitely feel like you're on a definite path to creating something really magical, something that's been burning a hole in your body for a lot of years. Like maybe that will start to come to fruition now. So we'll see. We'll play with the cards and see a little bit of what comes out. I'm going to pull a couple more, and then we'll get started in the actual reading. Where's that situation, please? There you go. Intellect and communication. Ooh. Emotions. Wow, flying. Okay. And one more for the outcome. All over the place. This is the theme of the day. I've been doing a few readings and environment. At the bottom of the deck, spirituality 5. There's lots of change happening right now for you. You're definitely on a spiritual path, or kind of looking towards that, of really finding about true self, what's really, who you truly are, connecting to source, whatever that looks for you. But there's a lot of change coming in for you when it comes to that, and like really setting your boundaries. There's going to be a decision. You're at a crossroads of what you really want to do and how you want to navigate this. And this is all about boundaries, setting boundaries with yourself, or maybe new boundaries will be coming up because you're looking at things in a different lens. So finding balance within that energy is key here. And lots of potential. Another 5. You definitely have the potential to shift a lot of stuff going on. Changes seems to be the theme of the reading so far. Transformation. And I'm going to read the overall energy once I put these cards down. The overall energy is about transformation as well. So where was this for us? Here, okay. So let's get into the reading. Do I have any other 12 cards? Yes, I do these. Sorry, I like to deal a lot of cards. I just want to use them all, so I just use them all in the same reading. Current situation, please. So in the current situation, you have overwhelm in reverse, which I don't always keep them there, but I like to have an idea of like what perspective I'm looking at. Change and awakening and letting go in reverse. So I'm not going to read that. Gratitude. The gratitude definitely came up while I was shuffling too. Intellect and communication, please. Setting intentions. Emotions. All right, I'll take these 2. Sometimes it gives me 2. And one more, final outcome. Okay. Bottom of the deck, breathe. Inhale, exhale, create space within. So definitely staying grounded in this time is really important for you. I'm going to move these out of the way. Got too many cards going on here. Need to have space. From over here. So, you know, finding space, taking some breath, like really staying grounded, connected to yourself. Maybe some of you are feeling overwhelmed because of the current energy, current situation here. So we're going to look into it. But first I want to look at what I pulled while I was shuffling and I was connecting and meditating with you guys. So the Emperor, which is all about leadership and being focused or having authority and like really being confident. I just feel like there's this focus here to really shift something. You have like this determination or this focus, momentum to really work with this energy that you have going on here. He has like all this light coming from source here, from the universe. Like I feel like you're very tapped in right now with what's going on with you. And you're focused on making this shift and moving forward. I think that's great energy to have. And then the Magician in reverse. And I want to keep it in reverse because I want, I love this deck. It's the Light Seer's deck. The Magician's all about mystery and like, training or like manifesting things. But it's also about really, what I get out of this deck right here is that he is really, or they, I don't know if it could be male, female, or they, they're really nurturing and connecting energetically to what they're manifesting. They're putting such soul and spirit and fire and energy and focus into what they're manifesting. So that's kind of what I'm getting here for you. I do feel like you have this focus from the Emperor, like that kind of energy, this very leadership kind of energy, because you're finally taking leadership of your own life, and like really standing in your own power and really wanting to manifest the things that are fiery inside of you. And that's what you're doing here with the Magician. And it's in reverse, so I feel like there's still some marinating that's going on. So it's not a negative to be in the reverse, just from what I'm feeling. It's more like you're still at it. You're still putting your energy and your focus in something. So it's just going to need a little time to unravel and to really bring that into fruition and create something really magical from it. So just being patient with yourself is a big one here too, because don't speed up the process of this cooking time. It needs to cook. And your focus and love and attention that you're bringing into this new thing or way of being or way of thinking is really needing your energy right now, because, it's going to come from a true place. It's going to be something that you really, really need. And you're going to have so much love and nourishment from it because you've invested so much of your energy and time into it. So being patient. Also, you got the Death card while I was shuffling the White Witch Tarot. I didn't put them in the reading because I always like to pull a card just for like the overall energy of the reading, but you got 3 of them back to back. The Death card here, I'm just going to look at it for a minute just to see if I pick out some. I think that there is definitely a transformation going on for you. I feel like there's like, you know, there's a transition or a transformation. And what I'm seeing here is kind of like, almost like the unwillingness to go a little bit, like you're restricting a little bit. And Death is like saying, like, you're coming with me, this transformation's happening whether you like it or not, and you're kind of resisting a little bit. Even though you really want to go, and you have the wings to fly and soar for it, and like you have the tools to go with the flow, I think there is a little resistance here. And it's kind of pulling you unwillingly is what I'm feeling here. I don't know if this resonates, but this is kind of what I'm seeing in the picture. So, you know, transition and transformation and death is really, really difficult because it breaks you away from the norm, or what you thought was the norm and what you're comfortable with. And it's bringing you in new territory. So it's understood to feel this way and resist, but it's going to happen anyway. So whether, you know, go against the grain, go with the flow, it might happen easier if you kind of just stop the resisting and let it, and just go with the flow a little bit. So it's inviting you to say, like, it's inviting you to hear, like, go with the flow with this. It'll help the transition faster. And you might get something more valuable out of it when you're not resisting so much, looking the other way. See, this is death, and he's like, they're grabbing your hand and you're looking the other way. Like, when you're looking one way, you're missing what's in front of you or what's coming next. So that's kind of what I'm feeling from that. And then the devil came out after that. And to me, the devil is your own self of like negative talk, negative blocks, self-doubt, you know, doubting yourself. And I think that's why you're so afraid to like go with the flow of transition and transformation, because you're afraid of your self-doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself that you're capable of handling it, or that you're capable of going with the flow, you know, like, I think that's what this is. Also can mean addiction, you know, whether we're addicted to emotions or ways of thinking, or actually have addictions to substances or food or whatever. So maybe there's a challenge there, and you're trying to transform. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is the case for most people, but that's what the devil is about, addiction too. But it could be addiction to thinking a certain way and not being open to thinking a new way, like being addicted to your own thoughts and your emotions and the things that your body chemically is addicted to from years of the same blockages or the same self-doubt, same like, you know, record being played off in the head. So I think that we could get addicted to that physically. The chemicals that are released from those emotions and thoughts feed our cells this information and feed these cells these chemicals, and that's an addiction. So just to be mindful of that, maybe to sit with that and see if there's something that you can transform or something you can manifest to get out of that, some kind of courage or some, you know, just another thought process or a different way of looking at it. But maybe this is why you're holding back on this transformation and not looking this transformation in the face and saying, okay, fine, I'm ready to go for it. So this just invites you to look at situations and see if this is something that you can alter, you know, somehow. And then the World came out twice. Where's the World? The World came out twice. It's somewhere here because I saw it. Unless it was coming out while I was shuffling. But it definitely came out. And the World in reverse, if you look at this person upright, he's holding the World. They're holding the World in their hand. And this is, in upright, this is all about harmony and balance and fulfillment and like, you know, just having like overall sense of like, I can handle anything and I've got the world in my hands. But in reverse, maybe it's inviting you, maybe there is some disharmony here. Maybe there is, I think because of this like restriction or like kind of resisting to change or go with the flow and this negative thinking or like these old patterns that go on in the head, that might be why the World is upside down for you. I think they all came out together. So I'm going with them as one card all together. But, you know, it's about finding harmony here. Or maybe you're holding too much of the world on your shoulders and you need to release some of that heaviness in order to find more balance with yourself and harmony with yourself. maybe taking away everybody else's burdens and all of the stuff that comes with holding the world on your shoulders. You know, maybe I invite you to look at that as well. So this is the overall energy of the reading. It's awesome because it's you're going through this transition. It's just a matter of perspective about releasing some of the fear and the control and going with the flow, and really looking at these negative blocks and negative thinking and self-doubt that you have, which is very hard to do, but in the scheme of things, it's not a lot to do. It's just very hard to do. But hopefully we can find some solutions or some ways of looking at it where you can shift this, you know, and really get some idea of how to navigate it. So in the current situation, you have let go, relax, and release. And this is in the reversal. And I usually don't read these in reverse, but what it's inviting me to look at in the reversal is that you're not going with the flow. And that's absolutely the Death card and the Devil working hand in hand here, is you're not going with the wind. You're resisting. And in the reversal, that's exactly what it's saying. It's saying you're not going with the flow. You're not letting go. You're not relaxing. You're not releasing. You're holding on to these old patterns, these old ways of being. So it's inviting you to look at that, and that's where you are currently. It's like you're still resisting, and that's absolutely those cards. So I love that they came out. Overwhelmed, 3. It's in the reversal, so you could be a little bit burned out right now and feeling overwhelmed and because all of this is so much change and shifting and that's kind of what I'm getting at. I'm like, I want to pull my hair out kind of feeling, because it's a lot of shifting all at once, and you can be very comfortable where you are and not want to shift that fast or at all. So it could be very overwhelming, and you just want to make sure you don't burn out the candle of this fiery energy that you have going on here to transform something and to manifest something and to nourish something. Make sure you don't burn it out because you're so overwhelmed that you're just like, I give up. I give in. So it's asking you to look at that a little bit. And 3s are all about creativity. Yeah, there's a 3 up there. So there's finding creative ways to move past this. Finding ways that really connect and resonate with you to move past this. It could be advice from a friend or friends or family, or or just really going inward, or using your intuition to connect of what you really need to navigate this. Change. This literally came up in the last 3 readings I did. Same position. There is a lot of change going on right now. Towers are going to fall. You had the tower also, but I put it back to shuffle because I wasn't focused while I was shuffling, and I like to make sure that I'm connected before I do that. But it makes absolutely sense. The tower fell. You're going through a death right now. You're going through this self-doubt because it's new and it's scary, and the world's turned upside down. So it perfectly went together. And this is kind of like, are you resisting the change, or are you pushing off to join the change? And I feel like the other 2-3 readings where they were pushing off for some reason, I feel a lot of you are resisting this change, or not even understanding how to go about it. So maybe you don't even realize you're resisting for some of you, but like not even understanding that you are doing that. And if you are understanding, how do I do this? How do I go with the flow? How do I change? What do I need to do, kind of thing. Some of you are pushing off and going with the flow, but just from the reading itself so far, I think there is a little bit of fear that's causing, but you're almost kind of leaping off, but there's this fear. And maybe some of you already leaped off, but now you're allowing this fear to take over and you feel like you want to land again. So it's just inviting you to really look at the bigger picture and to realize you are in control, but you're not in control. You're in control of how you perceive it and how you navigate it, but you're not in control of the situation because things change all the time and you have to go with the flow of things. So, but change is very hard. So I get it. I'm a Taurus. I don't like change at all. So I get it. I can totally resonate with this energy. Then you have the awakening in reverse. 20 is also, this is the world. This is the world. This is where I was saying, it didn't say the world on it, so I was thinking, but I knew the world came out because I knew the card. Awakening. This is an awakening for you, In this deck, it's an awakening. It's about finding harmony and balance in the reversal, but it is in the reversal here. So you're looking at, it says renewal and enlightenment. So there is a little bit of resistance here. You do have a renewal. You're seeing things that are happening. They're shifting. but there, you haven't gotten to that enlightenment. Maybe for some of you, small group of you have come into this enlightened state of knowing what's going to happen here or what's going on. But I think because it's in the reversal, there's still an awakening happening. Just like I said to you with the Magician, you're still marinating what's going on here. This kind of reminds me of the same energy, because it's the awakening in reverse, and the Magician, they're still marinating what's going on. They're still putting their energy into what they want to shift. So it's not quite ready yet. It's not quite cooked all the way through. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting here with the Awakened card in reversal. It's like you're almost there, but there's just something that needs to be done first before you tweak it. But just make sure you don't stay here too long and miss the boat. Don't let fear of change cause you to never leave this state and turn it around. That's the key here. So I'm going to pull a couple cards here, clarity cards about the awakening and renewal, just to clarify there. And the Sun. I just think if you can just not resist and let go, this awakening is going to be mind-blowing and really transformative for you. I mean, come on, it's the best, it's the happiest card in the deck. It's all about growth and nourishing and healing. This is extremely healing for you if you just see it that way and just let go of the fear, a little bit of the change that's going to happen, you know? I think this is really beautiful. I'm going to do one more for the change to see if there anything comes up. Joy and manifestation. So it's just a matter of like really seeing the brighter side of it, the ending, you know, to know that at the end of all of this, there is going to be joy. There is going to be the sun. There is going to be happiness and healing and shifting and growth, all of that. But you have to go through this manifestation time. You have to let go and the resistance of this change so you can go through this manifestation time. It's the Magician. The manifestation card is the Magician. So it's a matter of like accepting the change so you can push off. That's going to cause the manifestation of all this. And then at the end of result, you're going to have happiness and growth and healing and nourishment from this. So it's very important for you right now to look at this in this way, for it to really guide you through this journey in April, especially the month of April. But I think this is going to be a longer journey, honestly. It's not going to just be month through April. It might just be starting in the month of April, because it's a lot of work, you know. But you'll see a shift, I think, by the end of April if you're going to flow with this, because you have control over this entire thing. These cards might just help you guide yourself there, but they're not the end all. You make the decision in the end. So if you feel like you want to follow this, then I think it can really lead to really beautiful things. So how you can move through this through intellect and communication. You have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and this is all about perspective and resourcefulness and like having the resources and stuff. And I think that's because it's in the reversal. You're not ready there yet. You're still gaining experience here. You know, you haven't gained the experience. You're still gaining. You're still learning. And this is, you know, it's all about the mind, mental status. Yeah, I think that this is you're like knowledge, and you're still gaining knowledge. You're not fully there. Sorry, I had like a brain stagnation. I don't think you're ready. I think there's something still marinated. Like I said with the Magician, like it's almost there, but you're still learning. You're still gaining experience in order for you to make that final shift, and that's okay. And this is through intellect and communication. So ways of you maybe inviting you to work through this faster or connect with it in a better way or a deeper way is to write this stuff down, speak it. Like, because it's in intellect and communication, like write it down in a journal, like, you know, talk to a friend, go see a therapist, like just get it out of your system. Just start to formulate it into words and thoughts for it to start to, you know, the snowball effect for it to start to form, you know. Maybe that will help you turn these cards around and actually get you into the manifestations aspect of this reading. So, and being discerning. So discernment is all about like taking the information that you, all of this stuff, communication, this information that's being received to you, and being discerning about it, really dissecting it in a way that you need to hear it, and making up your own mind about this information coming in. Don't use your intuition with everything that you hear and everything you say too. This is because it's in communications. Like, make sure the things that are coming out of your mouth are authentic and are true to you, because you're hearing these things, and your intuition kicks in and says, okay, like this is what we need. We need this, we need that, we don't need this. So it's like being discerning about the information coming into you, and making of it what you need and take from it, in order for you to gain momentum and knowledge here to move forward. The next, I'm going to pull a card on this because housing came up in the next one. So this could mean a couple different things. I've had many readings coming up with this, and not so much on YouTube, but like personal readings that came up with this. And so this is two things. Like, some aspect of this came up with somebody who's looking for a roommate. And I was saying, like, if this is you, I'm saying, this is why I'm saying it. Make sure that there's communication there. Make sure that you can communicate in a very honest way, that they're good for you and your surroundings, Also, to me, this is not so much housing, more so, I mean, this could be communication in the home and really feeling protected and feeling safe to be able to express yourself. Absolutely. But it also can mean coming out of your shell a little bit, and just feeling, I guess, not home is where the heart is, but like feeling comfortable and safe enough as if you were home to articulate and to express what you really want to say, and have it come out in your authentic true self and in the way that you deliver it. Coming out of the shell, the crab, coming out of your shell a little bit with the way that you communicate. So it's not only hearing things the way they're perceived in your mind, but it's also saying things that bring you out of your shell, like verbally, like really try to, break that old habit of kind of closing yourself in a little bit. This also can mean, I don't know if this is a new home because of where it is, but I'm going to stick with what I said about it, because I'm going to pull a couple cards for it, but because it's different in every position. So I'm going to pull a card for the housing, please. Hard work. I do. Okay, so for some of you, it's the worker, B. So this is it does take hard work to really come out of your shell and speak your truth, and like be confident enough to like speak out what you're feeling, especially if you're not one to do that ever. But this is also inviting you to you don't have to do this alone. You can go to group therapy. You can talk amongst your friends as a group. You can start like a circle or something to really express yourself, or join one. It's working with a colony to really help you through this hard work. You don't have to do this alone. So, it could start in the home if that is comfortable for you, but if it's not, and you feel like you're alone in a situation, then maybe you can seek some help, that, hearing other people with similar story can help you along your journey that way. That's just for a couple people. That may not be for everybody. I'm going to pull another one. Transformation. So I do think honestly, this is more about, really speaking out in a way you haven't before, for most of you. Really doing the work to communicate better to yourself, on paper, verbally, and to others, and also perceiving things that way too. Information coming in, like we said, being discerning, but also hearing the truth in the conversation, not only your perspective. That's also what it's saying. Like, don't assume that the person that's delivering the information is saying it in one way. It's their perspective, and you're creating it to make your perspective, but that's not the perspective of other people. It's not the truth. It's your truth. So just remembering that. I don't know why that came up, but it's like that seems to be a theme of all of the readings so far too. So there's something to this, communication-wise. And also setting intentions, planting the seeds and watching them grow. I think that has a lot to do with the magician too, manifesting things. Really writing down speaking it out to plant the seeds of the way you want things to be manifested. Talk it out, say it out, be specific in the way that you want this to come back to you from the universe, or the way you create it, you know. That's what this is saying here. So coming into the emotion position, I'm going to take a sip of water. Excuse me. You have the path, and this also came in the last reading. I think it was Leo's. You have the path, you have temperance, you have planning, and you have relationship. So for some of you, this could be a relationship that you're building here, or a relationship that has affected you emotionally, powerfully or in a negative way, depending on which way you look at it. It could just be a learning way. You know, I like to say it that way. It's all learning and growing. But the path, you know, maybe there's a new path that you're wanting to take. You just don't see that there's a ladder right there for you to start taking it. You're like looking at what you're comfortable with, or looking out into the stars in kind of la la land, or like dream state for some of you, and you're not seeing the path right in front of you. Or you're waiting for the right time, you know, and that's kind of the majority of you. I feel like you're waiting for the right time because you're not ready yet to make those moves. You're still marinating. So that's for most of you. They're kind of working hand in hand here. The temperance is always about finding balance and harmony, you know. It's all about, it's also about being cautious, you know, because you're just like kind of very honed in and about finding balance in your life, and you're observing things in a new way. And it's being discerning. It's kind of what I'm feeling with this card. And just being cautious to make sure that you are on the right path, and the balancing that you're trying to juggle and trying to balance out is right for you. That's kind of what I'm getting with this. But there is like a lot of, like, you are looking for this balance and harmony. Like, this is something emotionally for sure. That's why you're doing all of this, I think, is to really clear this emotional instability for some, or just stagnation, you know, and finding more balance in it. And then planning, the Witch of Spoons. I think this is the Queen of Spoons. It's about being patient in your planning of the future and like how you want things to look. But don't plan so much here, because this is supposed to be where you're doing some of the dirty work and the digging to really go inward and find like some of these blockages and negative things that have been trapped in your emotions for so long that are holding you back, or affecting or altering your relationships now from things from the past. So, you know, have plans to, like, maybe this is planning of, like, you know, ways for you to work through this emotion stuff, because this is the spoons. It's the Queen of Cups. But she has a lot of patience, and she's got her knowledge, like she's got all her books ready, and she's about to, like, she's learning new ways. So this to me is also about learning new ways to cope emotionally, learning new ways to release things, really connecting with yourself intuitively and emotionally, but with patience, having a cup of tea. She's having a cup of tea, like really sitting and doing the work, you know. And relationships. I think this has a lot to do with emotions, you know, and how we've been scarred in the past, or things that have been really great in the past that have worked for us emotionally. This is about our connections to people, and our connection with ourself, and our connection with, like, our spirituality and our family, and, you know, our children. To me, what's coming up for this is, like, kind of looking at things through a magnifying glass, like really looking at the detail of your friendships, maybe like the detail of why you chose them, why they're in your life, what can be shifted or altered emotionally that might help you have a better relationship with the people that are there. Maybe some relationships are just past their prime, and they were there for at a time when you needed, but now they're not serving. You're not serving each other, being in each other's lives, so you're doing a disservice to each other that way. Although I don't see too much of the death of friendships or relationships here. I'm just offering that because it could be the case. But I just think there's like a lot of planting, a lot of seeding, a lot of pollinating here. maybe creating new friendships, like watching them grow in a different way, like almost like you're in a garden watching flowers grow and like really nourishing them and nurturing them in a way for them to grow in the right way of where you are vibrationally right now. That's kind of what I see with that. And then in the how you can move through this, through like how you can move through the outcome, you have environment in reverse, the collector. I'll show that to you. Abundance, the world in reverse. Again, you have 3 world cards in reverse. Literally. They were all in the reverse. And then motivation. So in the collector is, this is kind of like, you know, something coming to an end, a completion here, like reaching its end. I think there's like a passed away rat and there's just lots of clutter around. There is a clutter card in this thing, but this reminds me of just like collecting things and not like cleaning them out in your environment. Like what in your environment is dead to you now? Like what doesn't serve you anymore? What doesn't exist anymore in your being? Do you have like emotions and thoughts and relationships that are just like stagnant or dead, like they just don't have any energy or life left? Like really looking, and like the magnifying glass that I was speaking of, like that's exactly what's coming to me here again. Like really looking at your environment at home, your environment at work, your environment in your car, your environment within your tribe, and how your environment looks when you're with people. Your environment inward, like what do you look like inside? Do you like yourself? You know, would you date you? Would you be your friend? You know, what can you shift inside of yourself that makes you a better you? You know, like really finding your true self. And is there anything stagnant internally that needs to be released that really holds you back from really soaring forward? This like negative blocks, like self-doubt, that's dead energy. Is that stuff old now? Is it too old and it's past its prime and you need to let it go? That's kind of what I'm getting from it. Abundance, I do think that you are looking for abundance here. I think that there's a lot of potential here. And also in the beginning of this reading, while I was doing your cards, lessons came in, and it's a vase that has been, or vase that has been glued together of all of its pieces from all the lessons and mistakes that we've made in the past, or what you think is a mistake. But it's asking you not to look at things. I don't know. I know it's not to do with this card, but before I move on, and because it's environment, you know, it's asking you to look through the wisdom of your mistakes, or what you think are mistakes, and taking the lessons from them and knowing that it was a learning experience and not a mistake. You know, like really looking at your lessons and making sure you don't feel regret or like negative doubt of like, oh, I should have done it this way, or this didn't work because I didn't do it this way, or I should have been this, I should have been that. Like that's like looking at your life experience saying I made a mistake or I missed an opportunity, which I think we all do that in some way, unfortunately. But if you can look at the lesson within that and say like, okay, I grew from this situation, or what am I holding on to that won't let me grow or progress now? So that's why I wanted to bring that up, because it is kind of like your environment. What has died and kept, like stayed stagnant there? So really looking at that, and the healer came up, strength came up, of like being how strong you are to work through this. And like maybe some of you are healers, or it's a time of healing yourself and you really want to do that now, and that's why these things are coming up. Identity came up, like maybe looking at your identity and realizing like, who am I? You know, who am I really? Who do I want to be? Maybe, and I think that's a lot of why this is transforming here, or transformative. And metamorphosis came up. So I do think there's a major transformation for you. In the picture, she's like a woman turning into a spider. Like it's just like this transformation of something that was, and now it's like a caterpillar to a butterfly. Like a big transformation for you right now. And because of this transformation, it's going to create abundance. That's why I'm leading all to this. Sorry. But you have such abundance coming to you. It's a matter of staying connected to the earth, staying connected to your true self, staying grounded, and keep up your motivation, you know. This is all about creativity too. 3 of Pentacles is about materialism, but it's also about creativity, as the 3s are creative. So you know, keeping up your motivation, like what motivates you, what drives you, what brings your spirit out, finding creative ways or connective ways to do so. I see that. And then the world in reverse again, the third one. It's, you know, upright, it's fulfillment and celebration. But so don't allow these old habits and old ways of thinking of like the devil of self-doubt and negative blocks and negative thinking to hold you back from really staying motivated in this and creating abundance. You know, get rid of these old negative habits you have in your mind that create this not so great environment that's for your greater good. It doesn't allow you to connect to your higher source and to your higher vibration. You know, this is because you're not allowing this fulfillment to come up. You know, you're keeping yourself in this lower vibration because it's safe. But it's not the best for you. You deserve better than that, you know? And I'm sorry to say this and feel forward, but I feel like I'm connected to this. It's like, you deserve better. That's just what I'm getting from this. So receive better, that you deserve it. You've done so much work and you're such an awesome person, I'm sure. Just from what I see here, the Lovers came out again. Well, it didn't come out before, but it came out the Union card came out before. So, okay, some of you are looking for love. Some of you have love and you just want to be held. So the Held card came up, and the Lovers. The Lovers can be meaning two things. It can be, you know, duality, but it also could be like you loving you, really being in love with yourself and feel like holding yourself up. But it also could mean your lovers holding you up and turning to them for support, or it can be like finding a new love. But I just want to invite you not to just find this in order to help you through this, because, well, it's in the outcome. So I would think you would have done some of this process before you get to this spot. So maybe you are ready to receive like love in your higher vibration, you know, and not finding somebody who fell in love with the old you. I don't feel like that, but just keeping your eye out for that. And just knowing that you're being held, you know, you've got this, you're strong. You got the Strength card. You're healing yourself in so many ways. Just keep up with it and just know that you're not alone. You know, you have a lot of passion and you have a lot to be grateful for. So find that gratitude, what it is in your life, connecting with them, because that makes you very present when you're grateful for the things that are around you, and just stay passionate and you know, use that passion to be motivating and to transform through this. So I'm going to pull, I always pull the self-care cards to end the session. I hope this resonated, and I hope it was what you needed to hear. This is for Aries, please, for April. So my wife is an Aries, and she loves fairies, like outside fairies, not like meditate, just grounding yourself. It's really important. So it's funny that look for fairies. That's right, Aries, look for fairies. If you don't believe in fairies, it doesn't have to be that whimsical. This just means look at the magic in the world. You know, like, don't keep in your head so much. Look at the possibility of things being able to create and manifest anything that you want at any time if you just believe it. And just looking at the magic, how magical life can be. I mean, just creating a child or a person, or how we are resilient as a human being, like, that's just amazing to me. So just looking at simple things like that, being appreciative and having gratitude for that will make magic happen more for you in the world. Soaking in a bath, lots of grounding energy here, connecting with your ancestors a little bit to find, you know, or your guides, whoever you believe in or connect with, to help you support and get some answers here. It's funny, it says use your hands. If you create pottery or you're an artist and you maybe need some momentum or motivation, like maybe start creating again, or some sweet treats, healthy ones. Meaning, okay, so sugar is very expansive, and I'm not promoting sugar, but sweet flavor, sweet taste is very expanding. So maybe some of you will need some of the sweet taste, whether it's fruit or something that's sweet. Honey, you know, maple syrup. I'm not trying to promote sugary stuff, but I think for me, what's coming up for them is just having more of an expansive energy to open you up more. That might help you through something. That's what's coming there for me. So Aries, I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear some feedback. if this is connecting to you. I always like to know if I'm on the right path here, hopefully. If you like this reading and like the way that I read, if you can like and subscribe, that would really be appreciated. Sorry, it's been a long reading. But I would love that support just to keep going and have momentum to keep going. And I hope that the month of April is really transformative for you and that you shift the things that you need to shift. And I will see you in May. Take care of yourself.